What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, get this thing turned around here. What's everybody doing this morning? I got over here. My appointment wasn't until 0800. Got me in at 7. Backed in the door 7. Waiting to get unloaded. So that's what we're doing here. I'll go from here to Iowa City, or yeah, is that right? Iowa City, I believe is what it is. Wallboard or something. Walford, Iowa. So we'll go down there and grab some glassware, I would assume, and then we'll head back to good old Bardstown. Yesterday was a little bit of a tiring day. I had to run out my entire 11-hour drive time just because of the distance. And that's what they told me as far as, I'll be doing with these long runs usually. Let me drop this down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. With these long runs, what happens is that, they're, because they try to keep me within a 650 mile radius. If I want to go back, as far as that's what they try to do. When you get hired on, their big thing is that, you're going to get at least Tuesday or Wednesday home for the night, then the weekends off. So for the last 2 weeks, I actually went home 2 days during the week, slept in the bed. Somebody over putting the wrong code in, an alarm going off on the truck. But and the weekend's off. So this week it looks like, I'm not sure really what's going on, because I guess depending on my hours, hopefully I'll make it back to Bardstown, but you don't never know because of your drive time might be fine, but like right now they're getting me unloaded, so if you see me bouncing around, that's why. So 11-hour drive time is needed. You only got 3 hours left on your 14, and stopping at 2 stops, getting unloaded and loaded. Sometimes maybe not. I got to fuel up, so hopefully I'll make it back to Bardstown tonight. I know once I get back there, I'll be out of hours. So then I will be picking up from Bardstown, and then I was told that I'll be heading up to Highland View Park, Michigan. So we got 2 guys about ready to start colliding right here. Last time they told me I was going to Highland Park, Michigan, I ended up going to Riverview, Michigan. So it was a little discrepancy because they have customer codes that they put in, and when they put them in, they it automatically shoots out the address, just like when Prime, they have their location codes, then you put it in there and you're good. But it actually was the wrong code, so sure you read your bills, because I had already put in the address that was on my bills, because I really don't pay attention to let me show you guys. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about workflow and stuff. All right, here we go. So my workflow, as you can see right there, 632 miles is what from Bardstown to where I'm at right now. And like when you scroll, like these are basically all geotagged. So once I start getting close or pull in, it will let them know that I've arrived. Versus with Prime, you did your arrival, your macro 1 or whatever it was as far as arrival. Then when you left, you called, done a live load call. We don't do any of that here, because everything, like I said, is with this workflow system, which is pretty cool. But it was a little bit of a curve to learn, because when I came over here, they told me not to mess with the workflow. Don't try to create a workflow. Well, I just thought that meant don't touch anything with the workflow or whatever. So my first 2 or 3 runs, it would pop up and say, you've arrived or departing or whatever it may be, and I would just ignore it. Well, you've got to push OK on there to let it know that you have arrived. And so the first week, really, my workflows are all jacked up just because of, I made my appointments and everything was all good. Biggest thing is, look at my logs, when I'm loading and unloading. But now that I've kind of got a hang of it, of things here, it's pretty nice to not have to worry about calling dispatch for the live load call, sitting on hold for, sometimes 10, sometimes 5, sometimes 30 minutes with Prime. So that's a nice thing about this. But this PeopleNet, definitely totally different than the OmniTracks. Now I have all the functions that I had on the OmniTracks. I've got the personal conveyance, I've got my yard movement, I've got all those things that are really important. But just the interface is definitely different. When you're driving in the road, instead of having your just time clock showing, it shows a couple other things, and which is fine. But the thing that it does not show, for example, when I'm riding down the road and I've done my on duty, off duty, off duty, and my drive time, that doesn't count. The on duty doesn't count toward your drive time. Your drive time is only when the wheels are rolling, 5 miles an hour. Then you kicked on the drive time, or drive shift, or whatever you want to call it. And what this does not do is, while I'm driving, it shows the time that I have left to drive before I got to take my rest break, my 30-minute break. It does not show me how much time I'll get back after I take my break. Now, it shows me that once I start my break, it shows me. But during the screen that when I'm driving, there's no way of knowing, because I drove my clock out yesterday, my 8-hour clock, to like 7 minutes, pulled into a rest area, and I still had 4 hours to get here. So I was concerned that I wasn't going to make it. But when I stopped and took my rest break and everything, I got back enough time to run it in here this last night. So The good thing is that I guess you can say that some of the training that Chad told me or taught me or whatever, basically just the endurance of driving the full 11 hours, during training, that's what we did. We was 10 or 11 hours, boom, 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 and switch seats. But once I went solo at Prime, very rarely did I have to go really over 9.5 hours. Now there was some circumstances that I did have to use my 11-hour clock, but very rare. But now with this new job, that's something that that will be happening more often, just because of the short long runs. My thing is, they're telling me that my Highland View Park in Michigan is not due until Friday at 6 a.m. I mean, it's Tuesday. I mean, let's add this up. If I get to Bardstown today, roll out tomorrow, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, I've got, hopefully they're going to give me something else to kind of, we'll see. But I don't know how that's going to work, because I know it's not going to take me 2 days to get up to Highland Park, Michigan. I mean, I'll be up there Wednesday night. If I leave Wednesday, I'll get up there Wednesday night. Do I just sit all day Thursday? I don't think so. I mean, the cool thing about these, the ABC places that I deliver to, that's where I deliver to up in Michigan, Raleigh, North Carolina. But you basically put your bills in the back of the trailer and leave your seal back there too, and they truly go off the red-green system on the lights. So as soon as you get a green light, you can pull off, grab your bills out of the back, slide your tandems back where you need them, roll out. Never have to deal with anybody. Bills assigned, left in the back of your trailer for you. Now, I don't know if that's just because of the coronavirus. They're doing that. They don't want anybody interacting with anybody, but hey, that's fine with me. I mean, it works. So you're in and out, boom, boom. There's no other trucks here. There's that, I don't know, hey, Ron, I guess that's a dedicated customer of theirs as well, that they use to run stuff. But they work in order. Boom, one guy gets in, you get out, one guy gets in, and they work. I mean, they get you unloaded in probably about 20-30 minutes. So it ain't too bad. It's a little gloomy here. I'll show you a little bit of the view here. Let's see what we got here. I don't know why they won't turn around like that. So you can see it's a little cloudy. You can see the trailer's jumping here. Got the red light. Everything's always a gated facility around these alcohol places, as you can imagine, because they're a state-run facility. No overnight parking. But the cool thing about it is the place I went to last week in Riverview, Michigan, they actually had overnight parking. So for me this morning, I got here last night, PC'd back to where I stayed at last night. Then PC'd back in here this morning and didn't have to start my clock until, you know, they were unloading me. So, well, what I do as soon as I hit the facility, I'll go yard movement, then I'll put it in the dock or whatever, then do my unloading. And other than that, hey, we just trucking. We just trucking. That is what we're doing here. You know, typically when you get a new car, get a new truck, start a new job, whatever, you know, you start seeing more of whatever you just now got. You know, when I got my Dodge, not a Dodge, it's a Ram. Whenever I got my Ram, I started seeing a lot of them. But I can say with that, and just like Prime, I mean, really, I never recognized Prime on the road until, you know, I started driving for him. Then I saw Prime everywhere. But now with this NFI, I've seen some NFI trucks, but I don't see a whole lot of them. I don't know if that's because their base is out of New Jersey and they're more East Coast, you know, focused, which that's how quick they are, guys. They already got me unloaded. Green light going. So I don't know if that's what it is, but let's scoot up here a little bit. Go back there and grab the bills. We'll slide our tandems. Come on. Be right back, guys. I'm going to take you guys with me because this is something that I forget. I forget almost every time when it says chalk tires. I always want to forget to come back and move it. Typically I'll just ride over it, but that one's a little bit bigger than the norm. So look at this gap here, guys, between the trailer and the truck. That fifth wheel is a Fontaine as well, which is what Prime uses, but without that reefer there, it's a pretty big difference. All right, so there we go. That should be good. Let me build up my air pressure here so I can slide these tandems good. Oh, okay. All right. There. Squeeze the cum right there. I'll tell you what, you can open some of these trailers and it smells like you just walked straight out of the distillery. Walk straight out of the distillery. Let me go shut this door real quick. All right, guys, until next time, I'll have to holler at you later. I got to get on the road, get some other stuff going. Y'all have a great day. Be safe.